All right. Thank you for joining me, everyone, today. My name is Faith Bailey. I am the Hiring Services Manager at Ideal Traits, and we are actually currently looking to fill our customer service role that is a fully remote position. So appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down and interview with me today. So I want to kind of just first talk about Ideal Traits in my career and where we kind of ended up. So we are actually started by a couple of agency owners. Actually, the purpose of this was because there was a gap in the insurance industry with hiring, and that's really kind of where we came in. We created an insurance specific assessment to help agency owners kind of grow their business and make sure that they're making the best fit and hire for their agency ultimately. So we opened back in 2012. We've kind of been running ever since. And now we're really looking to kind of grow our customer service department. I actually started there when I first started here 4 years ago. So it's a pretty cool environment. Your manager, Eric Waldowski, would be a pretty good point of reference as far as any trouble that you're having. He's really great with working with you on extra help that you may need, one-on-one individually connections, different things like that. So he's really great with that. So I really kind of want to get started. I would love to hear more about the three of you and kind of just go around and have you guys introduce yourselves. So tell me just a little bit about yourselves, how you found the position or really what interested you in the position and maybe a fun fact about you. Let's try to keep it between 1 to 2 minutes with your introductions though, so we can kind of move to kind of the next portion of the interview. So does anybody kind of want to volunteer to go first?
Yeah, I will.
Awesome.
So my name is Monica, and it is so nice to meet you. I previously was working in a car importing company, and I just felt a change that I was ready to have for my future career. I just didn't see it really going anywhere. So then I was like, hey, let's go ahead and hop on Indeed, look up like customer service opportunities, right? I know I probably don't have the experience that you might be looking for, but that's kind of why I applied here because of the fact that I saw that you guys do offer that hands-on training and being able to, potentially get my license from there, etc. So I am really excited about this interview. And a little fun fact about me is that I like to go snowboarding and doing golf in the summer/winter time.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks, Monica. Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot of, great activities in your free time, which is awesome. One really big thing about Ideal Traits is we really focus on a work-life balance. We love kind of interacting with each other and making those connections and talking about similarities. So actually, I'm not a huge avid reader, but, listening to maybe you talking about your books maybe might inspire me to do that. Kelly, I didn't really grow up also watching movies. I'm kind of starting now that I'm in my adult years, kind of touching base on that. So if you have any recommendations, would love that. And Monica, I can promise you I will never snowboard, but that sounds like a great activity for you. I don't have a lot of balance, so. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for kind of introducing yourselves. It's just a little bit easier, kind of shakes off the nerves. I know when you're in a group setting like this, it can oftentimes be a little bit overwhelming. I know some people aren't really used to this kind of setting yet, especially in kind of still that virtual world that we kind of were forced into with the pandemic. But now that we're kind of, moving with the flow and in the future and change of things, I think these group settings will kind of be more frequent. So just kind of a heads up for you guys in any future interviews that you guys have. So would love to kind of know what you guys know exactly about Ideal Traits. I know that I kind of gave you a little bit of an introduction on how we kind of got started, but love to hear about what you know about Ideal Traits and what really drew you to kind of, looking to work for the company.
I'll go.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, sorry, Monica.
how are you?
When I first heard about the position and started Googling the company, the thing that really stood out to me was the blog and all of the really cool information articles and things like that. I really enjoyed taking the assessment when I first applied because I just love things like that and how, it knows you so well and teaches you about yourself so well. So I think that combination of just the assessment, helping you learn more about yourself and the people that you're working with, and then all the information that Ideal Traits provides is really cool to me.
Awesome. Cool. Love that. Yeah, we posting about the blog tons and tons. We have a content creator that kind of works to make sure that that's always fully up and running, and the assessment. Love that you touch base on that as well. Obviously, that's what we were kind of started on. So I love that you are already kind of familiar with that and recognize that. So that's awesome. This one's a kind of a little bit tricky. Definitely will get you thinking, I guess, is kind of the introduction to that. So would love to know, what have you guys learned from your past mistakes? What has that kind of taught you, moving forward with your professions? It could also be on a personal level. I would probably try to stay on that professional side, though, just for interview purpose.
I think for me, my past mistakes is learning or not being able to say no. I think that it gives me more anxiety than it does like in a good way, I guess you can say, just because like I just have a problem saying no when it comes to like projects or like assignments assigned to me, like based on not my coworkers, but my managers and stuff like that. So I get overwhelmed. But I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of when it comes to past mistakes professionally wise.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Well, yeah, it definitely sometimes can be difficult, saying no, but again, I appreciate your transparency. It's definitely something it sounds like you're actively working on, which is great. So awesome. So thank you for kind of answering those. I want to talk about the role now, just what expectations we kind of have, before we kind of move forward. So this is a customer service role. We are actually a really since the pandemic, we are actually a fully remote company. We have employees kind of stationed all over the United States. We also actually work with the company over in Pakistan as well. So we kind of include them in our day-to-day operations and their position and things like that. So with this specific role, you'd be working with our, customer service team. You'd be handling any incoming or outbound, any agents that reach out to us that need assistance with their account or their job ads, going over that assessment that we talked about earlier, that sort of thing. We actually use a platform called Intercom, so we use that to chat with our agents. We also host live webinars as well. So there might be some times where you guys will be asked to kind of conduct a webinar to kind of train our agents. They are typically around 30 minutes or so. So it wouldn't be too long of a webinar, and again, that wouldn't be something you guys would be asked to do until after you've made it through your training. So don't be too overwhelmed by that just yet, because I know sometimes that can be a little overwhelming. So we will do kind of those, down the road after your training, of course. But you'll start taking chats and phone calls pretty quickly before you're fully through your training. We are really big believers on the fastest way to learn it is hands-on. So we'll kind of put you on chats. You'll still have other customer service people to kind of lean on. There are actually options in there for the agents to kind of rate us and take surveys. So we do kind of keep a weekly log of those. So those are kind of some KPIs that you would be kind of not up against, but that you'd be watched on. So what your survey results are, what your response time is. The other thing with the phone calls as well is like number of appointments. So those are just some KPIs that you guys would be kind of expected to follow. But very, very doable. You'll work with Eric to kind of come up with a goal that is obtainable for you, but also challenges you as well. So you'll kind of be familiar with that. You guys, a couple of you mentioned the hands-on training and the growth opportunities. Like I mentioned before, I started in customer service. I'm now a hiring services manager. There's definitely room for growth for all of you here. There's definitely, you could start in customer service. I had one candidate actually that applied for sales, started working in sales, but now she's in product. So not at all what she started with, but that's what she's doing now. We actually created the role for her. So if there isn't a role that's already present that really fits your strengths, we typically actually create it, which is really cool about the company. We're pretty adaptable to that and really recognize change when it needs to be changed. And then also hands-on training as well. Eric is going to work with you guys pretty frequently, but we also do inter-department training as well. So you always know what the sales team is up to or what the product team is up to. And it really helps everybody understand everybody's role and what they're responsible for and what they're doing, things like that. We do also have unlimited PTO. We really encourage, obviously, our employees to take that. We don't want them limited by just 10 days of PTO a year. Sometimes that can be a little bit mentally tolling. So we have the unlimited PTO to really support that work-life balance that I kind of talked about before. Do you guys have any questions about the role, or do you want me to go over any other specific benefits that we do have?
Do you guys have, or I should say, what other benefits do you guys have besides the unlimited PTO?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually have a current 401k. We don't actually company match up to this point yet, but it is something we're working on. We also have health, dental, vision. We do have paid holidays. We also do have supplemental insurance as well. So supplemental life, major illness or critical illness, accidental, things like that. We also do team building things. So sometimes we'll do like quarterly happy hours. I know Eric is a really big believer in that as far as creating that psychological safety within his department. So a lot of times once a month he'll host like he'll close down the department an hour before closing, and you guys play Kahoots or do like a happy hour. So we do a lot of those. During the major holidays, we'll do like a Halloween party or kind of a get-together, a virtual get-together, because like I said, we're all kind of stationed around the United States. So sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. One of my favorite things that we actually do every year is our Lake Day. So in around July or August, we actually fly out all the employees to our home office in Lake Orion, and we host kind of a Lake Day. Last year, we did a brainstorming day the first day that everybody was here, and it was just a way for the departments to come up with new ideas, to collaborate with each other. The company brought in lunch. It was pretty cool. And then Lake Day, all the owners actually have boats. So they brought their boats over. We got to ski and tube and, all of the things. So it was pretty cool. We all were able to kind of see everybody outside of that working professional environment. And it was really cool to kind of deepen those relationships that we already have. So that's probably one of my top favorite benefits that we have here, just because I enjoy the outside conversations. Sometimes we can get caught up with work and the day-to-day and mundane tasks. So it was pretty cool to just see everybody outside of their element and in a new environment that they might not have been before. So yeah. Well, I want to say thank you for taking the time to kind of talk with me today. I loved having you guys on here to kind of learn more about you and so you could learn more about the position. So I will go ahead and review everything, and then I'll reach back out to you in the next couple of days if we want to move forward with the next interview. But of course, if you have any questions in the meantime, you can definitely reach out to me. I know you guys have my email as well, in my direct line too. So if it's easier to call or an email, whatever's easier for you guys, if you do have questions, then just let me know. Okay?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to talking with you guys in the future, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks,
Thank
you
you.
too.